friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as I mentioned in my last video, I've been playing around with the new droid team, actually with just droids in general, and trying to see if I can defeat the Sith team, or a Sith meta team. Now, I say that, and really what I'm looking at is a Palpatine, Traya, Nihilus Scion with Sith Trooper. This team is incredibly frustrating to me, and I just have to dominate it to make myself feel better. Here's the thing, a droid team can defeat a Sith team if it doesn't have Traya. If it does have Traya, it becomes exceedingly more difficult, just increasingly more challenging, and very, very frustrating. Now, I went through and I played this droid team for close to 3 hours on Friday. It was ridiculous. It was just, I was so frustrating. And what I've come to grips with is that if RNGesus is not with you, then you are not going to defeat a Sith team with a droid team. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to show you the footage of this droid team that I was playing around with, and how effective they were. But my focus of this is really, I want to talk about what the droids are missing as a whole, and why I think a complete droid meta or a complete droid faction rework is probably one of the most dangerous aspects of this game, because it really could change the balance of the whole game as a whole. Now, that being said, what I want to start off with is there are two things that the droid team is missing. And the first thing is they really don't have a solid droid leader, and I'll get to that in a second. And the second thing is they are missing synergy within the droid faction itself. Now, the droid leader concept is an interesting one, because there are two droid leaders. Three if you want to count IG-88. But IG-88's leadership ability is not meant for droids. It's meant for bounty hunters. And that kind of excludes him as a droid leader. But the real effective droid leadership comes from characters who aren't droids, who aren't part of the droid faction. You have Rey, and she is a solid leader for droids if you have BB-8 and R2 on the team. If you don't have those two characters, if you're using a different set of droids, then, you know, she's not as an effective droid leader. You have the Jawas, who they are effective in certain areas of the game, but not by no means are they meta defining or even close to meta, because while their leadership ability is solid, it's not necessarily effective for a full-on droid team. Now, what you do see as far as droid leaders, or leaders of droid teams that are also droids themselves, are twofold, again, excluding IG-88. What you do have is HK-47 and General Grievous. Now, General Grievous is just kind of sad. I haven't seen Grievous in a droid leader position that was effective. Nothing I used with Grievous, no team makeup, no team combination I used with a Grievous leadership was good. It was all pretty crap. Now, maybe I was just using the wrong team. That is very possible. There are tons of combinations, you know, not literally, but like there's dozens upon dozens of combinations with General Grievous's leadership that I just didn't try out. And so maybe there's one out there that is effective in certain areas, but not necessarily currently. Not what I see. I don't believe that to necessarily be the case. HK-47 is your best bet when it comes to a droid as a droid leader. The problem with HK-47 is he is in desperate need of a rework. Now, it's definitely possible that we'll get one. KOTOR, I don't think that it's necessarily done. I don't think this is the last thing that we're seeing for KOTOR. I think it's very possible that we will get a HK-47 rework. I would hope sooner rather than later. I wouldn't want to see a complete droid overhaul, and I don't think that we're going to get a complete droid overhaul anytime soon. I think we're going to get a rework of droids in segments, because let's face it, the major problem with droids is they are segmented, and I'll get to that in a second. But HK-47's leadership ability is called Assassin Protocol. Droid allies gain 30% critical chance and 50% turn meter on critical hits, or on a critical hit. Now that's not bad. That means they're going fast. That means they're going often, but it's not enough. You know, it is effective. It is effective with the current droid synergies, but it's really not as effective as it possibly could be. And we have a lot of really great leadership abilities in other factions that add to different areas of the game, that add to different aspects of the game. And what I mean by that is it's not just critical chance increased with turn meter added to that. It's usually critical chance increased with turn meter with something else and something else and something else. Now, the reason this isn't as effective is the power creep. The power creep is that thing that, like, because they keep introducing high-powered characters, overpowered characters sometimes, you have these other characters who've been around since the start of the game who aren't as effective. Again, I point out, there was a time when I used to use Cup as a low-end character, as a low-end player, and he worked great for me. Now, if I put in Cup in just any situation, yeah, I lose pretty handily. But again, this leadership ability for HK-47 really is something that needs to be reworked. I wouldn't want to see a ton reworked on HK-47. I obviously want to see him have the KOTOR tag. I obviously want to see him have some synergies with Revan if and when he comes out. I do believe he will come out. I do believe we will get him eventually. And when we do get him, I want to see an HK-47 synergy. I would also like to see synergies with some of the other characters in the KOTOR group. There's synergies between Bastila and Jolie Bindo. There's synergies between Mission Val and Zalbar and Big Z. I mean, T3 is solid, and I'll talk about T3 here in a moment because I think he is kind of the linchpin of what we could see the droid team become. And I think T3 and L3 are two characters that specifically help the droid team when and if we get future droid characters. And we're going to, it's just going to happen, let's face it. But moving on from droid leaders, the real reason that the droids aren't super effective is because there's no droid synergy amongst the droid faction. You have droids who have unique abilities who allow other droids stuff, but not every droid has that. Not every droid benefits someone else. Look at K2SO. K2SO's abilities are really effective on a rebel team, but not so much on a droid team. Now, he's a droid, but he's a rebel. Primarily, he's a rebel. So that whole droid aspect really isn't super effective, right? And you see that across factions, so it's not that I want every character to be intermeshed and every character to have synergy. And so I think that there definitely needs to be some reserve, some restraint on the parts of the dev. I don't want to see every character completely reworked. I don't think that we need that. I think what we need is minor tweaks here and there. HK-47 should be the next droid that gets a tweak, and it possibly will be. I don't know that for sure. I mean, but if you look at a lot of the other droids, you have some great droids in the game. You have Imperial Probe Droid, great on an Empire team. IG-88, he's a very solid bounty hunter. L3, again, great with, I say great. She's solid with young Lando. She's solid on a Scoundrel team. She's even really good in a droid team, pending what comes out with future droids. I do think that we're going to see other stuff, as I've said before. Now, then really the cream of the crop is R2-D2 and BB-8. These two are phenomenal. R2-D2 has every freaking light side tag in the game, I think. He's just a solid character. BB-8, again, great, wonderful character. And that's why Rey, as I said earlier, that's why Jedi Rey is such a viable droid lead, because of these two characters with the Resistance tag. We need a solid droid lead. Now, if you look at this, these are great examples of how each droid brings its own segregation to their own faction, right? You have Imperial Probe, he's Imperial, he helps the Empire. IG-88, he's a unique character, but he's definitely a bounty hunter. L3, while she is a droid, is more so a scoundrel than anything else. BB-8, R2 both have abilities that allow other droids to do other things. Now, L3 and T3M4 are both characters who really do benefit the droid faction exceptionally well, because a lot of their abilities, most of their abilities, have some kind of caveat, have some kind of little thing that allows them to benefit other droids, not just scoundrels, not just KOTOR players or whatever. It is specifically other droids, and I think that we're going to see more and more of that here in the next little bit. Now, if you look at T3's kits, if you look at both of their kits, they have things that I think really can make the droid team super effective. Now, the videos that I'm showing, there are definite moments where they are a solid team. The droid team is just a solid team, but they're just not enough to take over the Sith. But their kits are solid, and they, like I said before, they just need a few little tweaks. Now, what I do think is going to happen is I do think that we're going to see minor kits tweaked in segments, because these droids are in segments. I do think and hope, I hope beyond hope that by the end of August, we will see an HK-47 rework of some kind. I would love to see HK-47 with 1, if not 2 Zeta abilities. I think that would be freaking sweet. I would love to see a lot of other characters reworked. I want to see a General Grievous rework because, man, he needs it. But I do not think that we're going to see a General Grievous work anytime soon. I think Grievous is going to come out probably either shortly before or shortly after, or Season 7 of the Clone Wars launches. But I do think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see our droids from the Clone Wars reworked around that time. Now, I could be wrong, I could be right, who knows, we'll see in time. But again, I don't think we'll see those things soon. I think our next rework is most likely going to be an HK-47 rework. I think that's very possible, if not probable. I think it's about time, because he's been around since, I think, launch. And while he's a solid character, definitely needs some rework, definitely needs a touch-up to see him as effective as he could be. Now, with that, guys, what I want to do is sometime this week, I want to post a video. I've been working on it a little bit, and I'd like your input for it for sure. What droid leaders would you like to see added to this game? Now, what I'm specifically looking for are those characters who were in the Clone Wars, who were in really any other area of the canon that exists somewhere in our current game that has some kind of droid connection. What droid characters would you like to see introduced into this game? So what areas of canon would you like to see added? What droids from different areas of canon would you like to see added to this game? Leave a comment in the section below. I'm going to be doing this video and working on this video for the next couple of days, so hurry and respond, please. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.